Hey there, it's Dave D, and I think I'm going to call this like my bad lighting series videos. I'm still in a hotel room here in Nashville, Tennessee. I just got back from 12 hours of being on set from a live virtual broadcast I'm doing with a client of mine, and crazy. I'm a little bit tired here, but I want to share with you some really good information here today about two things that you need to do before you start selling. And if you do these two things, it'll dramatically increase your sales. First of all, if you don't know me, again, my name is Dave D from DaveD.com. And what we do is we teach professional services providers how to sell, how to close more sales and make more money without spending any more money on marketing. Okay, so let's talk about the major area first where people make a mistake, where professionals make a mistake. And there's really two major areas when it comes to selling. The first is not pre-framing the prospect, meaning they try to get into the sale too quickly and the prospect doesn't really know anything about them. The prospect is just calling around, and when they're typically calling around, they're shopping on price. So what we want to do as professionals is we want to slow down the sales process a little bit. We want to get the prospect to consume some form of information, whether that's a book, a PDF free report, watch a webinar, watch a video, but get some information that sells us and sells what we're about before we ever meet with them. And if you do that, the prospect will come to you, and if done properly, the prospect will come to you pre-sold. So for example, the prospect that watches a 45-minute webinar and then books a consultation with you afterwards is way more qualified than someone who sees a Facebook ad and calls you. The prospect who has binge watched some YouTube videos that you have and then calls you is far more qualified and easier to close than someone who receives a postcard and calls from the postcard. So one of the things I want you to think about is using information and making sure your prospect consumes information before you ever talk to them. So even if they do call from the postcard or they do come from a Facebook ad and they call your office to book a consultation with you, there should be a series or at least one video or something that they are required to watch before they ever meet with you. Now, of course, this video's got to have some value to it. It just can't be talking about how great you are, but the video should position you as the expert authority who cares. So mistake number one is talking to the prospect before they are preconditioned to do business with you. The second mistake that professionals make when trying to close a sale is closing too early without finding out the reasons why the prospect wants to or is interested in investing in the service that you're selling. So everyone just immediately starts pitching, right? They start trying to close the sale. When the truth is you need to take a step back and find out what the prospect really wants. So one of my favorite questions to ask when I'm doing a consultation with a prospect is this: what's most important to you in blank? So, what's most important to you when you think about putting in place a retirement plan? What's most important to you in whatever your topic is? Or what's the single biggest problem that you're looking to solve, right? Whatever it is, but that question will help you figure out why the prospect is talking to you in the first place. What you don't want to do is assume that you know what the prospect wants. Now, by the way, you might actually know what the prospect wants, but you still want for them to verbalize it. You still want for them to verbalize it, and you want to listen to their response. So if you just do those two things, number one, pre-framing or preconditioning the prospect by having them consume some information before they meet with you, and then find out what they truly desire before you give them a solution and long before you start closing, you're going to dramatically increase your closing percentage. And here's the thing that's so exciting about selling. You can, every time you increase your closing percentage, you give yourself an instant pay raise because it doesn't cost you any more to be talking to that prospect. So if you go from closing 3 prospects to out of 10 to closing 6 prospects out of 10, you in essence have just doubled your profits. So again, use those 2 strategies. If you got some value from this video, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I do love to read your comments, and I'd like to get your take on it as well. Also, if you're not a Dave D D-mail subscriber, simply go to davedee.com and you'll start receiving my daily email newsletter, as well as a report on how to construct a virtual event that sells. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you again really soon.